the hierarchy within the police sometimes can lead to difficult communication up and down the chain. And I think with social media, what you have are a number of people within the organisation who understand the value of technology. They understand social networking through using it in their personal life. They're very comfortable with it because that's their generation. You know, they've grown up being able to use technology. That's how they communicate. They carry a smartphone. You know, they shop online. So they don't make a distinction between the online and offline world. It's just part of what they do. You've got some enlightened chiefs who understand that this is an opportunity for the police and are actually quite encouraging of how we use technology, how we use social networking to add value to what we currently do. But there's a whole bunch of people out there at senior positions who really don't understand, and if I'm honest, probably are slightly fearful because they don't understand, are a little bit reluctant to embrace technology because of some of the real and perceived risks that they would associate with social networking. So if you take Facebook, for example, professional standards departments have, and rightly in many cases, been highlighting the risks involved with social networking, Facebook in particular. But most of the issues there tend to be what people do and say in their own private lives and in their own time on their own personal Facebook pages. And that has led to officers, finding themselves in positions where it really wasn't compatible with their role as a police officer or a member of the police organisation. But that's quite different from using it in a professional way. And what we've seen in the UK now is, like I say, that combination of bottom up and top down. We've seen some really good examples of police officers, PCSOs, using their own smartphones, it has to be said, and starting to use Twitter and Facebook to start to have a conversation with their communities in a way that adds to how they would normally conduct these conversations. So, they may well have ward meetings, packed meetings, whatever you want to call them, but that face-to-face meeting with the people that they engage with can be supplemented and complemented by an online presence. And there are some officers and PCSOs who have been really effective. Some police officers are still, they're embracing things like Twitter and Facebook, but they don't necessarily still really get it. And probably one of the biggest complaints that we would get from people outside the police in relation to the police use of social networking is that quite often the social bit is overlooked. And you see that in corporate Twitter accounts where you'll have a particular police force who has a Twitter account, and what they tend to do is use that for broadcast messaging. So, it might be a crime prevention message, it might be an appeal for witness, but it tends to be one way. They're not necessarily looking to engage in a two-way conversation. They're not looking for anyone's opinion. They are tweeting out a message with a phone number. So it's just a kind of one-way message, which is fine in terms of dipping your toe in the water, but that's not really what we want to do in terms of proper engagement.